This is training mission number 15 for DCS AV8B Harrier dumb bombs.
Welcome to the General Purpose Bombs tutorial. In this lesson we will cover the deployment of general purpose unguided bombs in several modes offered by the Harrier. For this sortie you are carrying 14 live Mark 82 bombs. While still on the ground, we will cover the basics of the various delivery modes: auto, CCIP, DSL, and DIR. We will also be referencing knowledge and skills covered in the stores management and target designation lessons. But first, some theory. Let's talk briefly about altitude, or height above target. Having accurate data in this case is crucial for precise weapons delivery. The Harrier can obtain this data from various sensors and systems with different levels of accuracy. For the night attack jet, the following sources are available in order of precedence: the ARBS, radar altimeter, GPS, and barometric altitude. When tracking is achieved, the ARBS will be your primary source, as it is not subject to barometric inconsistencies, nor is it affected by differences in terrain elevation underneath the aircraft and at the target location. Instead, it uses gimbal azimuth and elevation line of sight angles and rates to account for height above target and calculate a precise height above target. In other words, it knows the target elevation and will be able to determine the best attack parameters. If ARBS is not tracking, the mission computer will revert to the radar altimeter or the GPS, depending on which you have chosen when you started the jet. Press the ALT button on your UFC. You can see the bomb option displayed on ODU-1 and GPS option on ODU-3. The former, when colonized, enables the radar altimeter. The latter enables the GPS. During your attack runs, a HUD legend will indicate the selected altitude source. You can find a full list on your kneeboard. There are 5 delivery modes available to the pilot: 2 computed modes, auto and CCIP, and 3 backup or non-computed modes, DSL, DIR, and DSL-1. Automatic or auto mode provides fully computed automatic release of bombs or flares. It requires the target to be designated by any method described in one of the previous missions in order to provide command steering to an appropriate release point. This functions similarly to the continuously computed release point or CCRP mode in other Western aircraft. The CCIP delivery mode is a computed visual delivery mode with manually initiated weapon release. In the CCIP mode, the ground impact point is continuously computed and displayed as a cross on the HUD. As such, it does not require prior target designation, although it may still benefit from one. The DSL mode provides weapon delivery capability should the mission computer, ADC, INS, HUD, or avionics multiplex data bus fail, or any time the pilot feels a manual delivery is necessary. The DSL mode is only selectable on the ASMCI. You need to meet specific predetermined release conditions such as altitude and dive angle. DIR mode provides a backup weapon delivery capability for limited weapon employment. The system reverts to DIR when the SMC fails, resulting in loss of the auto, CCIP, AGM, and DSL modes. Finally, the DSL-1 manual mode provides a backup weapon delivery capability when the SMC and ACP fail, allowing manual fuse arming to be used to arm the weapons. Alright, enough of the theory, let's go get some practice. Take off, climb to 5,000 feet and fly to waypoint 1. Anchor there and let me know when you are ready to continue. Good, let's prepare the jet for attack. First, select the air-to-ground master mode. You will notice the true airspeed is now displayed on the HUD. Next, select the weapons. You can do that using the push buttons on the top row of the MPCD on some of the pages, by entering the stores page and selecting the weapons there, or by using the ACP. Use whichever method you prefer. Now prepare your weapons by setting fusing, quantity, multiple, and interval. For the first run, use the following setup. Set fuse to NTIN, or nose tail instantaneous. Set quantity to 2 as we want to release 2 bombs. Set multiple to 2 as we want to release them from 2 stations. Set interval to 2 as we want them to fall 20 feet apart. Bear in mind that the attack symbology on the HUD will only be available if a weapon is selected and correct fusing is set. Also, unless the master arm switch is on, the delivery mode legend will flash. We will engage several targets using different delivery modes. Normally, you should use a raked range pattern, which you are free to do. However, if you prefer a more direct approach, you can use that too. Okay, for the first pass, we will use the waypoint designation for the attack. Please switch to waypoint 2 and designate it by pressing push button 1. Now turn toward it, and when ready, switch your master arm to on. You should see a diamond over the target and a vertical line called the azimuth steering line, or ASL, going through it. Steer the aircraft so the line crosses directly through the middle of your velocity vector. You should also see the time to go on the right side of your HUD. Whenever the target is outside the HUD field of view or beyond 11 degrees, the ASL and time to go are removed and replaced by a steering arrow pointing toward the designated target. Keep flying level, keep the velocity vector superimposed over the ASL. The weapon release cue will initialize on the ASL 3 degrees above the velocity vector to indicate that a loft delivery is possible. At 3 seconds time to go, the release cue will start moving down the ASL. At that point, you should press and hold the pickle button. Once the cue intercepts the velocity vector, the bombs will drop. It is crucial that you keep the button pressed until all the programmed ordnance is dropped. You will know that it has happened when the ASL is replaced with a crosshatch symbol. One last thing to remember is that as long as the ARBS is the designation source, the ASL is corrected for wind and also for target's movement, so it should allow you to hit a moving target. Alright, continue towards your first target and drop your ordnance.
Caution.
Okay.
Bombs away. Pull hard across the horizon and check if you hit the target. Switchmaster. We will now practice another attack in auto mode, but this time we will use the DMT TV for target designation. You will engage a line of 4 trucks that are located near waypoint 3. Turn towards waypoint 4 and extend away from the range. Good. While you are gaining distance, let's set up our bombs for this attack. You will want to drop 4 bombs 100 feet apart in order to maximize the damage done. The trucks are in a column, so set the Q to 4, M to 2, and INT to 10.
Okay.
Select waypoint 3 and designate it. When ready, turn back toward the target. Make any necessary corrections for lineup after rollout as soon as possible. Also, remember that for auto delivery, precise designation is crucial for a successful run, just as avoiding any angle of bank during release and keeping the azimuth steering line in exactly the middle of the velocity vector. Press the sensor select switch aft twice to enter DMT TV mode. Sweeten the designation and lock the northernmost truck. Maneuver your jet in order to perfectly align yourself for the north to south run.
Okay.
Okay, master arm to on. Drop your ordnance when ready and remember to keep the pickle button pressed for the duration of the release sequence.
This is really too involved to be effective, in my opinion.
Landing gear, landing gear.
It's just so difficult. Okay, first thing, let's extend again. Let's go from that small island, and let's see if the TV remains locked to the first truck. So this is really not going to work in real environment, because it's just, you basically ask the enemy to just stand still and smile as you prepare your attack several times. It's just moronic to even have such a delivery mode, but anyway. So let's turn. So also I'm very slow. I'm trying to give myself enough time. So if you are to be fast in order to increase your survival chances, it's just fighting against yeah, I don't see the trucks now. They're just invisible. Okay, now I see them, so I'm again not aligned. I should come from the forest. This, you can see, if you are to attack inline targets, no way you would be able to attack trucks or garbage like this, to expose yourself in the jet for just some stupid trucks. Probably going on a line, like on a road, and just waiting for a bend in the road to mess up everything for you, and you just go 5,000 feet above the ground to deliver some dumb bombs on them. It's just so stupid, so stupid. Whoever thought about this years ago was just a moron. You have to be a moron. Only a moron in military can think about this. Yeah, it can work, sure. Okay. Now we are better aligned. So I think we will be aligned okay-ish. So what I need is even more. So basically I need to wait until the crosshair vertical line goes on top. Like so. Yes, they're really a really cooperative enemy. So, okay. We'll launch from inside this time, trying to be okay, starting to move, pickle. Oh, it's just difficult. Okay, so
Very good. Pull hard across the horizon. Check the effects of your attack. Switch master arm to off.
So I had to release basically 2,000 pounds of bombs to get one stupid truck, and I almost failed at the end because it was just, the margin is so small. The velocity vector starts to move from the bomb fall line, let's call it like that, the azimuth, whatever line, and you basically start to overcorrect, and you are doing like when you are following a takan or another marker line, and as you get closer to it, it's just going to move very, very fast to the sides of the plane. Then obviously you will overcorrect, and when you are doing that, you just don't want to correct at all. You don't bother, but for a bomb fall line you need to bother, so it's just so stupid.
Alright, now turn toward waypoint 5.
Okay, let's go to...
We will now cover the CCIP mode. As mentioned before, the CCIP delivery mode is a computed visual delivery mode with manually initiated weapon release. In other words, this is the drop where you point method. It is up to the pilot to place the pipper directly on the target and to press the pickle button at exactly that moment. Do not try to compensate for any perceived system inaccuracies, and do your best to keep your wings level. This time you will attack a bunker, dropping 2 bombs in close proximity to one another. First, prepare for the attack. Set the Q to 2, M to 1, INT to 0, fuse to NTIN, and delivery mode to CCIP.
Multiplier to 1, so... choose NTIN and delivery mode to... Let's try to change it. So air to ground. CCIP mode. Right.
Now turn back toward the range. Your target is about 75 meters to the north from the red smoke.
Okay. 75 meters. Fine.
You should now see a dashed line extending down from the velocity vector. This is called the bomb fall line, or BFL. At its end there is a cross. In level flight at altitude, this CCIP symbology is likely dashed, which means it is a reflected CCIP symbol and the impact point exists somewhere below the nose of the aircraft, out of view of the HUD. Dropping ordnance with the reflected CCIP cross is not possible. If you press the pickle button with the dashed cross, you will designate a position on the ground currently superimposed by the cross and switch the system to auto delivery.
Okay.
For successful CCIP delivery, the target needs to be in the HUD field of view. This is optimized by flying fast and thus increasing the downrange travel of the bomb and positioning the aircraft in a shallow dive toward the target so you can see it in the HUD field of view. Align your jet with the target and keep the wings level. Set the master arm switch to on. Continue toward the target. Once the CCIP cross becomes solid, wait for the bunker to be directly beneath it and press the pickle button.
So need to check here. Don't see it. So turn. Easy. And CCIP mode, so I don't know when. It looks dashed to me. You see the bunker. but I don't see the dash line becoming solid anyway.
Bombs away. Pull hard across the horizon and turn off your master arm switch.
Okay, so I guess it still looks like dashed, but this works. But
Very good. Fly toward waypoint 6 and climb to 7,000 feet. When you get there, establish an orbit using the AFC and let me know when you are ready to move on to the next mode.
so this mode is the only mode that actually works for sure, but obviously it exposes the jet tremendously. Basically you are, I don't know, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers away from the target, so you are in harm's way. The automated mode is just so inaccurate after all that it makes no sense to be used.
Time to talk about the backup delivery modes available in the Harrier. There are 3: DSL for depressed sightline, DIR for direct, and DSL-1, which is the same as normal DSL but uses mechanical fusing for the bombs. As the delivery technique is the same for all 3, we will cover major differences between the modes before moving to practical part. The DSL mode provides a weapon delivery capability should system failures prevent you from using any other modes. It will become a valid option in case of failure of your mission computer, ADC, INS, HUD, or avionics multiplex data bus. The DSL mode is only selectable on the ACP. Go ahead and select it now. The DIR mode is another backup that will kick in automatically once your SMC fails. It still allows for setting up different delivery profiles using the ASMCI, and it is good practice to set it up while on the ground. The details on how to do that are listed in the kneeboard. When everything else fails, there is one last mode for you called DSL-1. You'll be left with this one if both the SMC and the ASMCI stop working. This mode uses old-school mechanical fusing for the bombs that can be set using the knob in the top right corner of the ASMCI. You cannot control any other settings, and each press of the pickle button will release exactly one bomb. Okay, the last thing we will do today is drop some bombs using the DSL mode. As I have mentioned before, in order to do this properly, you have to use some basic trigonometry coupled with the charts. There are also dozens of different variables that can come into play and require a lot of experience and practice to properly judge. Here, we will stick to the very basics and some simple profiles. First of all, bring up the stores page and set up for the next run as desired. As this part requires a lot of practice, I'd advise that you drop one bomb on each pass. Good, now open up the kneeboard on the DSL delivery tables. You'll find some samples which you can use to practice. These are far from being exhaustive, but could be a good starting point for you. You can choose whichever profile you prefer, just remember that it is crucial to be within all the listed release parameters in order to hit the target. That means correct dive angle, correct airspeed, release altitude, and sight depression. It is up to the pilot to determine the best initial altitude, and results come with practice. A lot of practice. Follow the steps described in the kneeboard document, keeping the following in mind. The initial altitude and dive angle determines the roll-in distance. In order to be in the correct spot, if possible, make sure to designate the target first and then use the range displayed on the HUD or EHSD. After you roll in, keep the velocity vector 2 to 3 degrees above the target and walk the reticle onto it. Don't put the velocity vector directly on the intended spot, as that way the reticle will never be able to catch it, unless you want to make a suicide attack. But I'd recommend to choose a much cheaper plane for that. Finally, remember to set the correct depression angle. Do this by entering the stores page and pressing push button 11, or Sight. It will show on your ODU and enable data input via the UFC.
Actually, let's go on to this one. And 11. I guess it's this one. Right. And okay.
Choose your first delivery parameters, set up your jet, and practice, practice, practice. While rarely used in combat, DSL mode can be very useful.
I'm sure it's rarely used in combat. Probably never used in combat. It's so stupid. Because you have to see the target, you go at the target, you don't really point at the target, you mark your target in your system and then come back and launch in a deprecated mode while your jet probably has damage. So why would you continue with this suicide?
That's it for this training session. Go and drop the rest of your bombs using the tables from the kneeboard. Have fun.
Okay. So, let's switch to TV again. Waypoint 3. Let's go to waypoint 3. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Master Armon. Yeah. Okay. So again, wait, this is not good. So I have to come from 10,000 Dive angle has to be 45. Roll in range 1.7 nautical miles. Release altitude 4,000. Okay. So silly. I'll keep this on. So so let's switch to 8,000. That would mean I have to go back to stores. Let's use this one. So stores, site 112, and we switch to 141. 141. Enter. Now we switch back to the map. So now we go from 8,000. Dive angle is smaller, 30 degrees. 3,000 release. And rolling range you can be further away. Okay. First we need to, after arm is on, first we need to see the target somehow. Okay, so this is the target, and we are 4.6. So that, no, 2.3 nautical miles. We should do a turn int. And we should go to 8,000. .3 turn 3,050 degrees. Okay. Way too low. I don't know why. Okay, let's turn in. Uh, 35, not good. Anyway, not really good. It was obviously. That was so stupid. Yeah, it makes no sense to use this mode. This is not the worst mode. It's just really stupid. Never to be used. Never ever. Let's change to 5,000. This should be easier. So again, we go to stores. Let's reselect site. And for 5,000, the angle should be 182. 182. Enter. So now its dive angle is 10, release 2,000, we fly at 5,000, rolling further away. Okay. We are too high, and the plane is now unbalanced. It has a tendency to fall on the left wing. So 5, rolling at 4.7. And 4.6, 4.5, let's turn a bit. Not good. Why I'm closing because I'm trying to moving away. Okay, 4.7, let's roll. Wow, this is bad. This is really bad. Where's the target? Fine. This is bad. So it's just impossible to control all of this bullshit. So then in short, it just doesn't make any sense to use such a mode. Any sense. Let's try. So now I'm having how many bombs left? 4. Okay, let's launch 2, multiplier 2, 10. So now we are in CCIP, and first, let's try that thing with the automatic. Let's press the bomb pickle and see what it does. Okay. Not good at all. Really, really bad. Everything is bad about this. You have to fiddle with way too much stuff. And you have to have perfect visibility on target, which is impossible. Perfect knowledge, perfect visibility on target, stupid target, cooperative, basically a friendly. If the target is really cooperating, you have to assume it's friendly, and really not good. So the best way, this time I will just try to mark to see if the marker changes to whatever the cross is. So let's go full power. Let's see first. They should be way more to the right. Okay, not perfect, but anyway. So let's see first if this is enough. Did it drop? No. Okay, so let's. Okay, so it's marking the new point. Okay, that's cool. And I guess, yeah, it's okay. So I'll just go 180 and turn to 0, maybe with the loop. Okay, 500 should be enough for looping. Okay, let's mark. We have to be a bit right. This is good to do. We are still in CCIP mode. Did it launch? It didn't. Okay. That's strange. Okay, so obviously you need to be somehow lower. Mr. Rhyme. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so it released, but I wasn't really aligned. Okay, same method, but now we switch again to automatic. No, automatic. So basically automatic or CCIP is the only thing to be used, and automatically I will try from really high altitude and far away, otherwise it just makes no sense. Let's go to above 10,000 if possible, and very fast. It's basically against well stationary targets, otherwise just waste of pilots and planes. Makes no sense. Same release multiplier. One, it will release both. Let's turn. So I need to, something exploded there. Okay, let's turn. We are at 14,000. This is perfect. This is a good test. A bit. Okay. Not good. I can see.
Fuel low, right. Fuel low, fuel.
Okay. So let's.
Caution, caution,
Okay.
caution.
Okay, pretty close. But it can be done from very high altitude. With the bigger bombs, probably it's better. Okay, let's switch master off. And
Caution, caution.
why is not able to do it? Doesn't matter. Maybe it's the fuel. You cannot engage the altitude hold. Oh, now I could. Okay.
Caution.
Let's try to RTB now. It's nozzle 82. Let's put the gear down. Flaps on auto.
Caution.
And let's descend. Yeah, so in this lesson we've learned that basically carrying bombs is really dumb. Dumb bombs is really dumb to do it with Harrier because you have so little range, you don't have fuel, you need to refuel, you need to have a very, very complicated mission. And then what you do is basically go and risk your life and your jet for throwing some dumb bombs a few meters away. This is one thing that a lot of people don't understand, that these bombs that are like 250 kilograms, 500 pounds or so, they look big, but in fact their effect is very, very small. It's like a grenade, basically, but a very big grenade, because you cannot go and throw a grenade. Let's say you have a general that is in a bunker, and one grenade will be enough to throw, like a rock, not talking about a bullet. It needs to be propelled, the bullet, towards the target. So you just throw some explosive. If you have precision and you can deliver, the grenade is enough. One single grenade delivered inside the bunker like a present, it's just enough. So you don't have that. So you go bigger stuff. First you need to go through the bunker and then maybe detonate around somewhere close to the target. So this is why you need these big bombs. You don't need them because they do something more, like they deconstruct stuff. Rapid schedule disassemble. So basically then you need to be very, very close to the target when you launch these dumb bombs, so you risk yourself to be in harm's way. So it makes no sense when you take in consideration everything, starting from the jet, how expensive is this jet, how much risk there is. If the risk is 5% or even 2%, if the risk is to try to fail to deliver a stupid bomb, and then the risk is 2% that you are dying in the mission, it just makes no sense. Why would you do that? Especially when you have alternatives. If you wouldn't have the alternatives, you would think about something else. But you have alternatives. You can carry Mavericks or GPS guided bombs or something like that, or laser guided bombs. So the simplest automatic or CCIP mode is not making much sense. The rest of the modes, the DSL 1 and the other mode, is just insanity. Once you have a failure that you need to use DSL, you just go back home. You go back home even in automatic or CCIP if you don't see the target, or if the target already spotted you or something like that. So you forfeit the mission. Makes no sense whatsoever. And then when you understand all these, you understand how fragile these systems are. It just make no sense to have them. So let's see if we can kind of land. We are now set to land basically vertically. We'll see if we can arrest the plane. We are now on 3,000 feet per minute descent rate, so we'll see. Let's pull up. I think we can try to land directly in the parking, like so. We turn, throttle up. Not that much. We are basically empty.
Altitude.
Not backwards.
Altitude.
This is bad. Yeah, this is bad. Oh. So we lost the power because we emptied the fuel. Anyway, they can fix the jet.
Caution.
No, I think we didn't use the water at all. So I thought maybe the water, some limitation entered because only now the RPM is decreasing. Yeah, probably we lost the fuel. We lost the power because of the fuel. It was anyway a very good vertical
Caution.
landing. The sound is not really good for the jet. It's a bit not in sync with the compressor or with the engine, and also the compressor turns and then stops very fast, but not a big deal. Okay, that's it for this one.